especially when we talk about the global challenge. And another point, when we talk about the urging assets, we can see that many critical infrastructures over 30 to 50 years old. So in all the assets, as we can see, it will increase how to maintain the cost, whereby the equipment will fail, interrupt the public service. With the current situations right now, we can see that many countries, including Japan, even in US or even in United Kingdoms, are investing billions of money to replace all the urgent breach, whether the water pipe, whether the electricity, whether all the assets in their organization itself. So it will come up with the structures very expensive. So to maintain all these old structures, it will equally challenging, especially when we talk about the beyond the technologies. Therefore, the organizations are need to predictive about how you maintain and how you monitor that economies, that building itself, the organizations, and so on. So another thing, when we look at the global challenge, you need to look at the cyber physical risk, which is digital infrastructure is becoming more connected. Cyber attacks right now is affect the physical infrastructure. Cyber security is becoming national priority. Not only Malaysia itself, but all over the world. So, current example, okay, as I can see, either in airport, either in the hospitals, either in the bank, or all the organization will affect the utilities companies. So have their experience resumes about the cyber attacks. So again, this is a part of the global challenge. Today, as we can see, the cyber attack is actually not longer only about IT, but actually the whole IT problems. So it cannot stop about the transportations, it cannot talk about the healthcare itself, even the banking or even the water service. Yeah, so all these things actually is a part of the global challenge. Rising service and expectations. As you can see, customers expect faster and more reliable right now. We are talking about the AI technology. So digital platform will increase the public expectations. So organizations are under the gritters of the public security. So today, if for example like electricity, or even we talk about the internet itself, right? For only 1 hour, customers will immediately post complaint. As you can see, right? Kalau sekiranya enggak ada sesuatu berlaku pada kita punya internet, it will affect our customers. We have received so many complaints about that. So this is a part of the beyond technology. This is a part of the global challenge. Another things when we look at this global challenge is actually pressure for the uninterrupted delivery, which is you can look at the critical infrastructure which is must operate continuously. So another thing, we talk about the service interaction, affect the society and also the economy. Walaupun kita enggak ada electric ataupun it will affect our whole scenarios of the organization. And another things when we look at, we are focusing on the business continuity, which is this is a part of the global challenge. So critical infrastructure we cannot simply stop. So every interaction has economics and also social consequence. That is how we develop that. This is the beyond the technology, which affect all the either customers, organizations, and etc. Okay, when we talk about the infrastructure resilience in economics is economic resilience, where this is a part of the critical infrastructures gains, which is either you talk about the industries, you will talk about the healthcare itself, either you talk about the cities, investments, and so on. So this is a part how the economic resilience looks like. Okay, for example, when we talk about the industry, yeah, industry is actually depends on the water, for example. It depends on the electricity, and it depends on the transportation. So all the production can, when stopped, will affect all the organizations. So for example, right now, as you can see, yeah, the examples like in Taiwan's semiconductor, where is the factory will require all the continuous of the water supply. So if let's say you stop, let's say, so what is it then? What is the challenge, you can force it. So without the infrastructure, yeah, without the beyond technology, factory maybe cannot be produced, which is again, it will impact the customers. So without the production, what suppose you need to do? So maybe the exports will decline. Okay, when we talk about the export decline, who will affect? Against the economies. Again, your country will affect the economy's resilience. Okay, when we talk about the healthcare economics itself, which is, for example, that hospitals we were required under interrupted. Kita nggak mahu berlaku pada hospital, for example. So it will affect the water and electricity. And again, infrastructure will fail directly affect the patient care. So you can see that how important the beyond technology, which is under our control. Okay, when we talk about the cities, okay, the modern cities actually is depends on the smart infrastructure, which is either transport, communications, utilities will support the urban economic activity. So heavy floating, for example, like climate change and so on, it will affect our countries. It will affect the transportation, it will affect the business and our daily life. So when cities stop functioning, so again the business stop functioning also, which is it will relate with others. Okay, another thing is which one we look at the investment. Okay, how the investments are important for the beyond technology, which is we look at the stakeholders, we will look at the investors, whereby investors prefer the countries with reliable infrastructure. It means sekiranya enggak ada investors, enggak ada investments, good investment, again, the stakeholders maybe run away to another countries. So it again, the infrastructure resilience will increase the investors' confidence. So again, what we look is the multinationals company must be considered the infrastructure's quality before deciding where they are invest. Another perspective when we look is actually we will look at the household where the reliable infrastructure will improve our qualities of life. Essentials services support, for example, like education, health, and also the daily activities. So imagine, yeah, if there is no electricity, no water, or even right now we talk about the internet itself, how we will survive. Everything are stopped. Right now, we are working, most of the even in Malaysia, we are more like work from home. So all these things affect who will get affected. Again, all of us. Again, investors. Again, which is reflects our economics. Okay, so in these situations, again, we can see that infrastructure is not only about the but it talks about the economics and it talks about the national competitive. So all these things again we talk about the qualities of life. When infrastructure stop, maybe the economics also stop. So this is the digital resilience with a better life, which is when we talk about the digital maturity, we must make sure that we have the system, which is the organizations are owned with their advanced systems. Second thing, it use like a dashboard or it use like automations about the digital platform, even how we collect the digital collectively quickly. And also again, when we talk about the investment in technologies, that means in digital maturity, we must have the system. We must have the high technology ownership. We must have the digital platforms and dashboards. We must have the data collections. And again, we must make sure that investment activity. So in this situation, it will also looks at the digital resilience, how we adopt and also how we adapt, which is we need to come up with the clear decision making, whether it is right or whether it's wrong. Second thing, we need to look at the integrated system. Is it their reliable data and so on, where we want to get the data and so on. Third thing, we look at the collaboration routines, and the last one is about the how we learning from discussion. We take experience from that and so on, etc. Okay, this is actually a that we come up with the with the three pillar model. When we talk about the technology, when we talk about the digital transformation or challenges, we need to look three perspective, which is digital leadership, technology capability, and also the organization's career, which is what suppose we need to do. Okay, in digital leadership, actually we are focusing on the where leaders must make fast decisions. Leaders must connect with the technology. Leaders must connect with the technology investment with business continuity and also the economic priority. And also, leadership becomes critical when the situation changes. So they must have the set directions, alignment, and the accountabilities on this one. Okay, when we talk about the technology capability, the most important thing is how we integrate data, system, and also cybersecurity. Why? Because organizations must not only their own technology. System must be integrated, secure and reliable. And other thing is employees must be able to use all the real decisions. So this is very important in beyond technologies, right? A company may have AI, cloud, platform, and also dashboards. But if the system is fails, yeah, data unrealistic or weak, is again it will affect our organizations. And the third one, if we talk about the organization's culture. Why organization's culture is important when we talk about the beyond technology is because employee must have the data. That means the department must share the information, and also people must willing to learn and adopt and adapt the technology. Either we are on the 60s, either you are on the Gen Z and so on, you must adapt and adopt the technology. Because why? Because culture determines whether the technology is actually during the disruptions and so on. Okay, the another pillars, this is the three pillars that are come out, which is pillar one, we look at the digital leadership. That means you need to set a credible digital directions. You need to align the technology. You need to mobilize all the cross cultures, expertise, and so on, and also the behavioral changes. That means you need to allow on that things. Okay, the second pillar when you look at is you need to focus on the technology capability. What type of the integration, what type of data quality, what type, how accessibility and so on, and what type of the analytics and also cybersecurity. You need as a digital leadership or as a technology capability, the most important thing is technology capability not only owns for the MD system. System must be integrated, must be reliable, secure, and useful. And the last one, when we talk about the pillar, is about the technology. With why is not confirming? Okay, we talk about the organization's culture, where when we talk about the organization's culture, yeah, which is the three pillars, the most important thing when we talk about the organization's culture is how the culture determine whether the employees is actually use that technology. Yeah, either how the employee must trust the data and how the department must break down with the silos. So organizations again must learn how from the mistake and opens to the changes. So this is a part of beyond technology. So a part of it, as you can see, with kinds of the technology, the most important thing is resilience infrastructure is not only a purchase. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, actually, as you can see, technology will continue to develop. Infrastructure will become more powerful. Data will become more valuable. So by greatest of the connectivity, it will also create on the technology. This is how like what we see like even in Malaysia itself, right? We have kita juga mempunyai di how we support the digital resilience because we think that digital economics, cybersecurity, AI, and data security is very, very important in these scenarios. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Rosaini, for a very excellent presentation, very insightful and very I think all of the participants here will learn a lot about the topic you have just mentioned. It is about, let me check. Yeah, your topic emphasizing that digital resilience does not solely depend on technology, but also on three main pillars: visionary leaderships, competent human resource capability, and an organizational culture that is adaptive to the digital change. So I can say in bahasa Ketahanan digital tidak hanya bergantung pada teknologi semata, tapi juga pada tiga pilar utama seperti yang dijelaskan di PowerPoint tadi. Kepemimpinan yang visioner, kapabilitas sumber daya manusia yang mumpuni, dan budaya organisasi yang adaptif terhadap perubahan digital. I think this is also very interesting for all of the participants here to ask some questions to the very professional keynote speakers today. Thank you. Now, the sessions for question and answer, I would like to invite. Excuse me, could you please close the PowerPoint? Thank you. Yeah, I would like to invite some participants to ask the questions to our beloved honorable three keynote speakers today. Please raise your hand and say in English or in Bahasa Indonesia. That will be okay. Then we will be happy to translate your questions. Thank you. Is anyone? Anyone raise hand? Okay. We have Ibu Laila. Laila, sorry, bukan Ibu. Laila Aprina Zahrani, the student. Thank you. Please say something. Operator bisa nggak di pin untuk yang nyanyi? Thank you. And we have also Primanda Yuvika. Laila, please. Laila, you are the first. Laila, you ready? And say to whom is your questions. Say the name, Professor Ari or Professor Rosaini or Professor Sri Mulyantini. Please address to whom is your questions. Laila, seems Laila is still busy. Are you ready or not?
Good
Yes,
afternoon.
please. Yeah, thank you. Please.
My name
Oh, your voice is not really clear. I think echoing the microphone. Or maybe I go to Primanda first. Primanda Yufika, please, if you are ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
May I go first, Miss?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Professor Ari. My name is Primanda Ivichka, a student from Diponegoro University. I really enjoy your presentation, especially the point about green finance being the missing link in the green transition. I was wondering, in emerging markets like Indonesia, do you think AI-driven risk assessment is already making a real difference in green investment decision, or is it still more of a promising idea that hasn't fully proven itself yet? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Primanda. This is specially conditioned in Indonesia, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Professor Ari, please directly answer because we have a very limited time, but I think it's better to answer directly. Professor Ari, please do to answer the questions from Primanda about the conditions of Indonesia. Is it proven or not? Is Professor Ari here? Pak Bey? Let me check. Professor Ari is here.
Let me check.
Yes, please check. Kindly check. Perhaps he is away. If he is away, then I think it has to go to someone else. I mean, the other speakers.
Okay,
Is he here?
begini ya, can I disrupt? Okay,
Okay, thank you,
Manda.
Professor.
Okay,
Thank you, Professor. Thank
okay.
you.
Kalau
Thank
kita
you.
bercakap mengenai soalan tadi ya, technology is not be enough. Ada you're from other countries atau mana-mana, yang penting is actually most important thing in, especially when we talk about the digital infrastructure, right? We also need capable, skilled employees. Betul? Kita perlukan strong cyber security. Kita perlukan effective governance. Because all these things actually when we talk about the digital, when we talk about the economy sendiri ya, kita yang penting adalah what is the capable leaders we have.
Oh, great.
Okay, what we talk about the skilled employees.
Mhm.
We have a lot, even di Indonesia sendiri kan, kita mempunyai ramai pakar-pakar yang bekerja di luar negara misalnya. So this is a part of the set. That means is technology kita ada, tapi is not alone enough for us. That means even in Malaysia itself sendiri ya, kita perlukan kerjasama dari berbagai-bagai perspektif. Sama ada daripada leadership, sama ada daripada skill, and also the strong cybersecurity. Sekiranya enggak ada cybersecurity yang bagus, misalnya, again, the investor akan kemungkinan akan lari ke negara lain. Sekiranya effective governance, sekiranya berlaku kacau balau, even geopolitics, in Bangladesh yang tahun lepas, even in Myanmar and so on. So it will make the stakeholders will go to another country. So all these collaborative is we must have, or we need to make sure that leaders